Hi there, my name is Pamela, and this past summer I was given the opportunity to complete an internship at Jumping Elephants, a user experience consulting firm in Ottawa. And before I began my internship, I would say that my skills in UX research and design were quite limited, although I did have some familiarity with UX concepts and practices as a cognitive science major. However, over the past summer, I can say with confidence that I've truly grown as a UX researcher and designer, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you a small snippet of the research methods and lessons that I've learned over the course of my internship, to which I'll give a brief overview of each, as well as any tips or best practices I may have picked up along the way. Number 1, Heuristic Evaluation. So, what is it? Well, it's a research method in which evaluators test the usability of a product, like a website or an app, against a set of recognized usability principles, and these are otherwise known as rules of thumb. And as a result, evaluators can identify usability problems and provide possible solutions. Although it may not always be possible when there are tight deadlines to be met, our team found that it was best to have more than one evaluator conducting a heuristic evaluation in order to maintain interrelated reliability of the results. And one of the most robust and effective sets of heuristics was developed by Jacob Nielsen. Number 2. Competitive analysis is a research method used to inform design decisions, in which you identify the strengths and the weaknesses of other websites, products, or services similar to yours or that of your client. Consequently, you can use this information that you've learned to identify gaps in the market or simply find opportunities to improve upon your own products or services. And we did this by working through top tasks on competitor websites and then identifying those strengths and weaknesses during this process, or by identifying top features of competitor websites, then making a spreadsheet so they could be easily compared. Number 3. In order to provide a successful product or service, it must serve both the business and the user, and that's where stakeholder interviews come in. These interviews are a good opportunity to define important elements in the project, such as goals, desired outcomes, timeline, target users, etc., as well as an opportunity to provide feedback throughout the project. I learned that it is important to involve everyone bringing the project into fruition into these meetings, and not just limiting it to project managers and the client. Number 4. As previously mentioned, successful products and services not only cater to the business, but they also serve the user. And user interviews are an effective way of directly gaining insights into what users are actually thinking about these products or services. The information you gain from the interview can be different depending on whether the interview and the questions are structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. Interviews can also be remote or in person. I learned that it's important to make users feel comfortable during these interviews. Creating a space where they feel safe and can trust you as a researcher will help users to be open and give their honest opinions. You can then summarize the findings of your interviews and use them to create artifacts, and these artifacts can be used to inform design decisions. For example, personas are a fictional representation of your users, and it's a great artifact to use in order to foster a sense of empathy for your users during the design process. Additionally, the UX storyboard can help visually predict and explore the user experience with a product. It helps you to visualize how people would interact with a service or product. Number 5. Usability testing is a type of research method that allows you to test your product or service with real users in order to gain their feedback. In a usability testing session, participants are asked to interact with the product or service by completing a series of tasks. They are encouraged to think aloud so that we as researchers can understand their thought process while they complete the task. Additionally, users can point out what they thought worked well, as well as provide recommendations for possible changes. Researchers can gain both qualitative and quantitative data from usability testing. For example, you can learn if participants are able to successfully complete specific tasks, determine how long it takes to complete the task, ask the participants if they are satisfied with your product or service, identify possible changes that can improve overall user experience and satisfaction, and additionally analyze the performance to see if it meets your usability goals. During my internship, I picked up a few tricks on how to perform remote moderated usability testing. Before running a session with a user, I found it very helpful to do a practice run with my colleague. By doing this, I was able to identify any errors in the interview guide or task beforehand, and overall I became more comfortable with the flow of the guide and any other programs I would be using during the session. With this, the sessions I did conduct with actual users often went more smoothly. Number 2, in order to make users feel more comfortable, I gave them assurance that I wasn't testing them and their abilities to find information, but rather I was testing the system. Additionally, I learned to not be afraid of silence during the session, as this period of silence can allow users to speak about any additional thoughts that they may not have mentioned previously. Lastly, I learned about the various types of software development methodologies, the two most prevalent being waterfall and agile. The waterfall methodology is characterized by a sequential and linear process. Each phase of the software development process is discrete. In my opinion, academic research feels very similar to the waterfall methodology. Although the waterfall methodology may have many advantages, one of its major drawbacks is the inability to handle unexpected change. This is why many people have opted for the agile methodology. The agile methodology is a more iterative approach to software development. This approach handles change well and welcomes constant feedback from stakeholders and end users. The goal of each iteration is to produce a working product. As opposed to the waterfall methodology, the agile methodology was a rather new concept for me, and there are many different types of agile methodologies. The one I became most familiar with over the course of my internship was Scrum. And that's the end of my video. I hope you learned something today. A huge thank you to everyone at Jumping Elephants for the amazing opportunity to learn and grow as a UX researcher and designer over the past summer. I truly appreciate all the support you've given me. If you'd like to learn more about UX or just chat with me, then drop me a line at the email on the screen. Thanks for watching.